Go-to-market has changed. Really good opportunity here for B2B to kind of catch up to the mainstream, right? B2C, there's no sales reps. It's just marketing. The consumer behavior, the way they educate themselves and make decisions and buying has changed. And we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of ground to cover in terms of how we approach that. Gold mine here when it comes to video and B2B. Sales and marketing is changing, right? Back in the day, it was all cold call, cold email. Now connection rates are down, open rates are through the basement. EventShark, what we do is, events like these, right? You have such great people, your ecosystems here, and all the people that you would want to be in your videos. So it's a very big miss if you're not using an in-person event as the foundation to create a large quantity of high quality content. We have a short presentation here about how to maximize ROI from in-person events. So what are the current challenges in B2B events? Can I scan your badge, please? Right, we're living in the SQL era. As this experience for attendees decreases, people have their guards up, right? They don't want to talk to salespeople. They're like, let me get some liquid IV from your booth, right? But I don't want to talk to your SDRs. As a result of this, we've seen a lot of event, ROI go down in recent times, right? The leads, aren't as abundant as they used to be. The conversion is a little more difficult. Spend is up, ROI is down, but the game has changed a little bit, right? We look at our consumption patterns. Back in the day, if you wanted to learn about a new solution, you're going to a conference, you're going to a trade show. This is how people discover new solutions. But nowadays we have the internet, right? Everyone's on G2, everyone's asking you to leave reviews on G2. So clearly they don't need to go in person to learn about new solutions. But what is the opportunity of in-person events then? Is we have all these great minds and these talented folks, beautiful people in the room like we do right here. It's the perfect opportunity to create a bunch of video, interactive content, really strengthen a relationship and then also get a long tail benefit after the event.
So why video?
Video can enhance engagement and retention, AKA attention, AKA revenue. Boom, I didn't even have to rhyme that. That's how true it is.
Yeah, you can even just look at LinkedIn, drop in short form video. How can you take advantage of that right now? Get on top of that before it becomes too late. It's still a really good time to be producing video content. The way people are buying is through video. Because as being mentioned at the beginning of the call, you have the internet. You can kind of go in and do all your research ahead of time. So how can you become for your company or as a sales rep yourself, creating a full-time 24-hour sales rep using video.
And the best part is video is believable, right? Why do we have sales reps sell things? Why isn't just go to our website and read all the facts and you can buy something? It's because humans are authentic and relatable and feel real, right? We have 2 cameras set up right now capturing all of this. We're gonna cut all of this into short form clips. And then people are like, wow, these 2 guys are on a stage. That's such a big stage. These guys are clearly credible, right? It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna lead to pipeline and deals for us, no matter what vertical this can apply to you. The authenticity, the 2 auths, right? You have your authenticity and your authority. And if someone is in a well-produced video talking about a subject, you get instant credibility, right? If someone's just leaving a text post, anyone can leave a text post. But being on video, it's that additional perceived effort giving you that perceived credibility. It's the same reason that a text testimonial, it could be just as valid, but when we look at it, it feels different than when we have a person, right, a real face on the screen saying, hey, this is my actual customer story, and this is how we got it to work.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to fake video, especially with the AI kind of coming out and doing text posts. It's pretty easy to fake that. What can you do at events, Sting, by creating evergreen content? It doesn't just have to be a recap video, a hype video at this event. What kind of content can you do?
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that videos at events are, let's get some B-roll of this event. Let's create this trailer. People shaking hands, smiles, drinks going on, badges getting scanned, more badges are getting scanned, right? And you create this nice little trailer, but it doesn't really do anything in terms of making it about what your business does and what problems you solve for. It's just a beautiful party montage. There's a million beautiful party montages with 2 views on YouTube. So there's a chance to be more intentional with the methodology as well as the subject matter of the content you create at events. So a couple of examples, right? One we're doing right now is panel capture, where we have this talk prepared, some information prepared, and we're documenting this for posterity. And it has that benefit. This is how you build recognition, how you build brand long-term. And then all of that, of course, leads to revenue. So the different types of content, right? We have the panel capture, but there's also other things that you could do, right? People talk about long form, short form content. What is gated? What is social first? Well, a very popular form of, I'm sure everyone scrolls TikTok or Reels or Shorts. People watch video in a variety of different formats. And you should be very mindful of that as you go in with the creative process. So not everything is long form, sit down, podcast interviews. Those are great, but if that's all you do, then, you could be doing something a little better, right? So after this, our speech later in the night, we're gonna have the cameras going around doing man on the street style interviews, right? Short form, social first focused content.
Content capture, you come into an event, if it's your own event that you are hosting, the attendees that are gonna be there, you can kind of script stuff ahead of time, let your attendees know, hey, we're gonna be shooting XYZ content, give them a heads up so you guys can kind of curate some topics that they'll be interested in. Personal brand's huge these days, so if you're having an event and you're doing content capture, your attendees that are coming there too are going to be interested in getting some content for themselves, get some content. Creating content, it's might be intimidating at first, but once you kind of get the ball rolling on that, it's a gift that doesn't stop giving, especially kind of building your personal brand, and video is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, so if you're interested in doing content, right, what is the barrier to entry? What does that 0 to 1 look like? Here's a misconception that people have about video. They think it's all about the video quality. I mean, it is about the video quality to a certain extent, but what's more important is audio. Audio quality is very important, as well as lighting. So, if you're trying to just, next event that you go to, you want to create some content there, get your creator on, make sure you have those things in place. And if you don't want to worry about that, work with a professional vendor. Might know a good one for you. And of course, right, preparation is the key to success. Is you want to schedule your interviews with people beforehand. Do your outreach beforehand, right? And it's a great way to set a meeting up. If you're going to a large-scale conference and there's folks on your target prospects list that you're going to speak with or that you want to meet with, instead of saying, hey, can I get some time with you to demo my product? Be like, hey, we're doing a content series here. We want to interview the brightest minds in X space. And we would love to feature you in the content. That's a much different ask, right? You're leading with value, you're coming to them, and everyone knows now how important brand and content is. The resistance is lower now, right? Because everyone knows, they got to get their clout up. I'm sorry, that's how the world works, right? But instead of saying, hey, let me try and sell you, it's let me interview, let's create some content and collaborate together. And guess what? You get a great follow-up point after the content capture, right, to talk to them. So preparation, and then, of course, your questions, your topics, right? Be strategic. Plan all of that out beforehand so you're not scrambling, when you're trying to interview people and operate the cameras and whatnot. A big thing that folks like to do are webinars, right? And there's this talk of hybrid in the workplace in terms of, hybrid, you're at the office, you're at home, but there's also hybrid events, right? As we have programming that's in person, but then there's capture, maybe live streaming for a remote audience. So what are some of the best ways we can maximize that? Is you're going to incorporate a live Q&A. So right now, boom, Shalik, ask me a question.
How did you get your hair like
that? Shout out to my mom and jojoba oil. Mix that in with the conditioner. Shout out to Frankie, that's my girl over there. Image Studios on Riverside. You want the best haircut in Austin. You see what we just did? Right, that's a live moment. Boom, the room is lively. And you use polls and surveys. We didn't prepare one, but you can use polls and surveys, and they're great for engagement. And then we can also learn from popular streamers. I don't know if y'all know Kai Cenat is iShowSpeed, all those guys, right? The biggest streamers. They're getting some of the most attention on the internet right now. What do? They're like, yo, what's up, chat? W's in the chat. L, right? They're interactive, and they call out when a moment happens during the content. You want to call that out and address it. I see a lot of folks do webinars. It's either crickets in the chat or they just get ignored, right? People are active and bought in and engaged, and they want to ask you questions. They want to see themselves reflected in the live content. And it's very important that you do that, and that's how you build that really solid core fan base.
So content creation is really half the battle. Distribution is the harder part if we're being real. Being able to distribute across your channels. Know your channels, right? I think LinkedIn for B2B is the first one to start with, and then how can you distribute those across other channels? Even with EventShark, we're starting to build on Instagram too, kind of repurposing our content across all the channels, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Twitter. So those are kind of our main channels. So create once, distribute forever, chop those videos up. You can have one panel. We can chop this up into 20 clips, and those can be clips that are distributed over the next quarter. So that's kind of like the strategy with EventShark is, hey, you're coming in, we're shooting a batch of content, and we're going to distribute it for the next quarter or two by using, chopping stuff up, using some editing, and clipping stuff up.
Go-to-market has changed. It's not the same. It's not 2014 anymore, right? So we got to use, new strategies. We got to adopt new solutions. We have new mindsets, right? Use new tools. Use good ones like SenseSpark. It's a really good opportunity here for B2B to kind of catch up to the mainstream, right? B2C, there's no sales reps. Well, it's just marketing, right? It's just business to consumer. So the consumer behavior, the way they educate themselves and make decisions and buying has changed. And we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of ground to cover in terms of how we approach that. Goldmine here when it comes to video and B2B. At the individual opportunity account level, as well as overall to feed into a brand.
Video and content can not just for your company, but it can also help you internally climb the ladder. You're going to stand out across everyone else at your company. At my own company at Demandbase, when I was a sales rep, I was making content. I was able to up my career tenfold because I was able to really stand out amongst everyone else and transition to a career in content. But personal branding is super important these days. And so video is just one part of that.
Appreciate it, everyone. Y'all, it's EventShark. It's been a blast.